And there goes Notary into the starting gate to complete the line. They're off in the Iroquois. Superstock had a good beginning. Ultimate Badger's got some early speed too. The ride of a lifetime on the outside of them is going to go up and grab the lead here. The ride of a lifetime to the front as the field leaves the chute and enters the backstretch here. The lead is a length and a half. On the outside, Notary is up running in second position. And then it's Superstock in third through a 23:04 opening quarter mile. Coming up the rail, Pico Doro's only a length and a half off the lead. Then Midnight Bourbon, Belafonte, Ultimate Badger to the outside. Sitting on Go is in behind them. Crazy Shot and Drop Anchor at the back of the pack up the backstretch. The ride of a lifetime. 3/4 of a length ahead of Notary, racing for the far turn. Pico Doro has the rail. Midnight Bourbon is 3 wide. Superstock in between those two. 45.64 was the half mile. Around the far turn they go. The ride of a lifetime is still the leader. Notary continues to press the pace on the outside. Midnight Bourbon is third. Superstock in behind them, running in fourth. Crazy Shot circling up on the outside in fifth. The back of the pack, Sitting on Go, is going by horses, but very wide, and they're into the stretch. And the ride of a lifetime is joined on the outside by Midnight Bourbon, but Sitting on Go is rolling on the far outside by the 8th pole. Midnight Bourbon and Sitting on Go. And Sitting on Go has come from the back of the pack to take the lead. Sitting on Go pulling away. Sitting on Go wins the Iroquois and is on to the Breeders' Cup. And then it was Midnight Bourbon second, followed by Superstock. 1:35 was the final time, a new stakes record.
And they're off in the 2021 Lecomte Stakes. And there's Proxy with Midnight Bourbon, and Mandaloon is up and after the lead. It's Midnight Bourbon. So Midnight Bourbon just leads them for Joe Talamo. Proxy in the Godolphin Blue, and Mandaloon is stacked 3 wide as they enter the clubhouse turn. Arabian Prince up the inside trail. Regular Guy running in 5th, with on the outside Game Day Play in 6th. As they go to the back of the track, then comes Red and Wild, and dropping back to last is Santa Cruiser, the opening quarter in 24.68 seconds, with just inside 6 furlongs to run. And the leader is Midnight Bourbon, who controls the pace here for Joe Talamo. Midnight Bourbon leads Proxy by 2. Mandaloon, third on the outside, with Saving Ground Arabian Prince. Regular Guy is 5 from the leader in 5th, followed by Game Day Play, who's running a wide 6th. And then comes Red and Wild, and Santa Cruiser remains last to the 8. They go past the half-mile pole here in the Lecomte in 48.99 seconds. It's Midnight Bourbon who leads Proxy, and Mandaloon right there on the outside with 3 furlongs to go. It's Midnight Bourbon. Mitchell Morrow makes a move with Proxy between horses. Florent Giroux and Mandaloon. Green with a pink sash being driven now to engage Proxy and Midnight Bourbon. Then Regular Guy and Arabian Prince. They straighten past the quarter pole. Top of the stretch, 3/4. 1 minute 13.57 seconds against the rail. It's Midnight Bourbon. Midnight Bourbon leads them into the final furlong. Leads by 3. Mandaloon and Proxy, they battle it out. It's still Midnight Bourbon. Past the 16th. Midnight Bourbon, Proxy, Mandaloon gamely. Here it is for Midnight Bourbon. Wins the Lecomte, holds Proxy and Mandaloon. Santa Cruiser finished 4th.
Let's get to track announcer John G. Dooley for the call of the $1 million Louisiana Derby.
And they're off in the TwinSpires.com Louisiana Derby. And there's Right and Just, who strikes out. Taking back Star in My Dreams. Right there is Hot Rod Charlie. And on the outside is Midnight Bourbon with, for the inside, Run Classic in 4th. First time blinker, Proxy in the Royal Blue in 5th. And Mandaloon now moves up on the outside to engage these leaders as they enter the clubhouse turn. At the inside, Hot Rod Charlie, Midnight Bourbon between horses. And Mandaloon, green, pink sash with the white sleeves, who's posted 3 wide as they round the clubhouse turn just inside 7 furlongs to run. Right and Just broke sharp, now running 4th. John Velasquez and Proxy, fifth between horses. It's Hot Rod Charlie who leads with 6 furlongs to go. Run Classic now, worked off the rail by Brian Hernandez Jr. Star My Dreams is running second to last, and Obesos trails in 8th position. The opening quarter in 47.04 seconds after the initial quarter in 23.10 seconds. Out in front, it's still Hot Rod Charlie who leads here for Joel Rosario. Hot Rod Charlie tracked by Midnight Bourbon. Right and Justice right there with Mandaloon fourth on the outside as they go toward the far turn. Proxy is 6 lengths off the pace. Star My Dreams being driven toward the rail. 3/4, 1:11.25 seconds. We trail back to Obesos, and Run Classic is last now as Midnight Bourbon takes a run at Hot Rod Charlie as they come to the top of the fairground stretch. Mandaloon, Proxy looking to unwind on the far outside, then toward the inside, Right and Just as they come for home. Star in My Dreams from Obesos and Run Classic. They come down toward this final furlong. It's Hot Rod Charlie, and Midnight Bourbon needs to lift. Hot Rod Charlie finding for Joel Rosario. They come past the 16th. Hot Rod Charlie just holds Midnight Bourbon, and rattling home is Obesos. It's Hot Rod Charlie to win the TwinSpires.com Louisiana Derby. Second photo, Midnight Bourbon and Obesos close. Proxy finished 4th. Star My Dreams. Mandaloon flattened today. Right and Just and Run Classic.
19 3-year-olds. All in line and ready for the start. They're off in the Kentucky Derby. And off to a solid beginning here. And it will be Medina Spirit who comes out the best to take the early lead. Soup and Sandwich on the outside, away running in second. Helium is close up to the pace in between those two, and these 3 will lead them early. And then it's Hot Rod Charlie behind them, Mandaloon on the inside. Essential Quality is outside of horses and 4 lengths from the front early. And then it's Super Stock, followed by Highly Motivated. Rock Your World's coming from well off the pace here as they make their way into the turn. He's a good 10 lengths off the lead. Then toward the inside, it's Obesos. They're being followed by Midnight Bourbon, who's well off the pace as well. Light the King is next on the inside. Then Brooklyn Strong. Dynamic One is next. Known Agenda, followed on the outside by Hidden Stash. And at the back of the pack early are Bourbonic, and the trailer is Keep Me in Mind. The first half mile was 46.7 seconds, and Medina Spirit leads them up the backstretch. The Bob Baffert trainee is 3/4 of a length in front. Soup and Sandwich on the outside second. Mandaloon drafts in right behind the front runners, third on the inside. Then it's Helium in 4th. Hot Rod Charlie behind them. Essential Quality begins to move on the far outside as they make their way around the far turn. Medina Spirit is still the leader here, and Mandaloon comes on the scene on the outside, a half length behind. Essential Quality is put to pressure. Hot Rod Charlie right in behind the leaders. Flavian Pratt asking him to go now as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Medina Spirit and Mandaloon are stride for stride. Hot Rod Charlie and Essential Quality closing on the outside. The 4 of them come into the final furlong. Mandaloon fighting for the front. Medina Spirit battles on. Hot Rod Charlie on the outside. Essential Quality on the far outside. The 4 of them coming to the finish in the Kentucky Derby. Here's the wire. Bob Baffert does it again. Medina Spirit has won the Kentucky Derby. Mandaloon 2:01:02 the final time. Bob Baffert stands alone with 7 Derby wins. Line, we're ready for the start. They're off in the Preakness, and Medina Spirit broke very well again today, and so did Midnight Bourbon. And so the 2 of them are right together in concert. Tour is 3rd on their outside as they race by us the first time. A very headstrong Francisco de Ina is next, then Crowded Trade. Risk taking in behind them. Ram on the inside of Rombauer, and then on Bridal Honor, and the early trailer is Keep Me in Mind as the Derby winner Medina Spirit leads them through this first quarter mile and into the clubhouse turn. That first quarter was 23 3/5 seconds, and the lead is just a half a length. On the outside, Midnight Bourbon continues to press the pace in second as they go to the backstretch. These 2 are 1-2. Then on the inside comes Crowded Trade, and on the far outside, Concert Tour is 2.5 lengths behind as they continue through this half mile in 46.93 seconds.
So Medina Spirit's the leader. He's off the rail though, and Francisco de Ina has slipped through on the inside. The horse from Japan is only a neck back. Midnight Bourbon is next, and then Rombauer, who's close up, and on his outside comes Concert Tour. So they make their way around the far turn. Medina Spirit and John Velasquez have the lead as Arad Ortiz and Midnight Bourbon continue to press 3/4 in 1:10.97 seconds. Francisco de Ina starts to retreat. Rombauer grabs third. Concert Tour comes up on the far outside, but he's not keeping up at this stage. Midnight Bourbon grabs the lead from Medina Spirit, and they're stride for stride, and they're into the stretch. Medina Spirit fights on the outside. Midnight Bourbon. Rombauer is rolling up to them. Coming by the 8th pole, it is now Rombauer storming to the front, taking over from Midnight Bourbon. Medina Spirit has dropped back. Keep me in mind is 4th. Rombauer and Flavian Pratt win the Preakness, pulling away by 4 on the wire. Midnight Bourbon was 2nd. Medina Spirit has to settle for 3rd. Keep me in mind was 4th. The final time, 1 minute 53 and 3/5 seconds.
In a surprise, the 11-1 Rombauer, just 2 wins from his first 6 starts, gets Flavian Pratt a 2nd Triple Crown win, but it's the first time he's been the jockey on a horse that crossed the line first in a Triple Crown race. He was on country.
They're in the gate. And they're off in the TVG.com Haskell. And following C comes out running for the lead. Hot Rod Charlie has speed too. And Midnight Bourbon outside of that pair. The top 3 separated by less than a length in the early going. Mandaloon settles down on the inside, a joint 4th, and about 3 lengths off the early action. Pickin' Time is between horses. Basso outside of that pair, and Anti-Gravity is at the back of the field. They have about 6 furlongs to go, and it is Following C who will set the pace, prompted by Midnight Bourbon, who's just a neck back 2nd. Hot Rod Charlie has backed off, 2 off the pace in 3rd. Down at the rail, it's Mandaloon in 4th. He has about 4 lengths to make up. Pickin' Time is in between horses. Basso outside of him, and Anti-Gravity. They're heading to the half-mile pole in the TVG.com Haskell. Following C and Joel Rosario lead the way by a half length. Midnight Bourbon has been keeping him company. Mandaloon, a threatening presence in 3rd, tugging his way forward. Hot Rod Charlie is just outside of him. And then it's a gap of 4 lengths to Basso on the outside of Pickin' Time and Anti-Gravity. The new leader is Midnight Bourbon with a 1/4 mile to go, confronted by Hot Rod Charlie on the outside. Mandaloon pink cap, Following C at the rail. Here comes Hot Rod Charlie unleashed, and Mandaloon comes through with a smart move, and these 2 will fight it out. Hot Rod Charlie, taking and losing the rider was Midnight Bourbon in mid-stretch. It's Hot Rod Charlie, Mandaloon, Hot Rod Charlie. Here's the line. Photo finish in the TVG.com Haskell. Very close between Hot Rod Charlie and Mandaloon. It was a long way back. Following C and Anti-Gravity. Losing the rider in mid-stretch was Midnight Bourbon.
For the start. And they are all in line. And they're off in the 152nd running. of the Run Happy Travers. And from the inside post position, it is Midnight Bourbon, and Essential Quality is right alongside in second. Miles D is next in third. Then we come back to Dynamic One, who's running in fourth. Masquerade on the outside in fifth. Keep Me in Mind is at the rail and in sixth. And the trailer is King Fury in seventh as the three-year-olds go into the clubhouse turn. And Midnight Bourbon will set the pace here. Ran the opening quarter mile in 24 seconds. The big favorite and Belmont Stakes winner, Essential Quality, sits behind in second. Midnight Bourbon steps away here to lead by 3.5 lengths. Essential Quality is next in second. And on the outside is Miles D in third by a head. Dynamic One down towards the rail runs in fourth. Then it's Keep Me in Mind and Masquerade. They are right together. And at the back is King Fury. They're making their way up the Saratoga backstretch, the half mile in 48 4. Midnight Bourbon leads by 3. Essential Quality tracking in second. And then comes Dynamic One, who's running in third. Miles D in fourth. Keep Me in Mind in the white blinkers is next in fifth. Right alongside is Masquerade and King Fury. And now they're getting closer to Midnight Bourbon. Midnight Bourbon is the leader here by a little more than a length. Essential Quality is in second as they go into the far turn. 3/4 went in 1, 14 2. Midnight Bourbon the leader. Essential Quality. And on the outside, Miles D now makes a run. Dynamic One down towards the rail in fourth. Then Keep Me in Mind. Masquerade in the clear on the far outside. And King Fury. They are coming for the top of the stretch in the Run Happy Travers, and it is Midnight Bourbon and Essential Quality, and now their heads apart as they head for home with the roar of the Saratoga crowd. It is Essential Quality on the outside of Midnight Bourbon. The two of them are right together inside the eighth pole. Essential Quality narrowly. Midnight Bourbon continues to battle on. They're coming down for the finish. It is Essential Quality and Midnight Bourbon. Essential Quality has won the Run Happy Travers. He won the Belmont with class. He wins the Run Happy Travers with style.